No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Do one thing every day that scares you. You must do the things you think you cannot do. With the new day comes new strength and new thoughts. It is better to light a candle than curse the darkness. Happiness is not a goal, it is a byproduct. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. Do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you'll be criticized anyway. Friendship with oneself is all important, because without it one cannot be friends with anyone else in the world. A woman is like a tea bag, you can't tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water. It takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. Never allow a person to tell you no who doesn't have the power to say yes. People grow through experience if they meet life honestly and courageously. Understanding is a two-way street. You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do. To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. One's philosophy is not best expressed in words. It is expressed in the choices one makes. Since you get more joy out of giving joy to others, you should put a good deal of thought into the happiness you are able to give. The giving of love is an education in itself. You can often change your circumstances by changing your attitude. No matter how plain a woman may be, if truth and honesty are written across her face, she will be beautiful. What could we accomplish if we knew we could not fail? It is not fair to ask of others what you are unwilling to do yourself. You have to accept whatever comes, and the only important thing is that you meet it with courage and with the best that you have to give. When you cease to make a contribution, you begin to die. As for accomplishments, I just did what I had to do as things came along. I think that somehow, we learn who we really are and then live with that decision. Only a man's character is the real criterion of worth. Hate and force cannot be in just a part of the world without having an effect on the rest of it. I believe that anyone can conquer fear by doing the things he fears to do. Life must be lived and curiosity kept alive. When will our consciences grow so tender that we will act to prevent human misery rather than avenge it? In the long run, we shape our lives, and we shape ourselves. A good leader inspires people to have confidence in the leader. A great leader inspires people to have confidence in themselves. It seems to me of great importance to teach children respect for life. To be mature, you have to realize what you value most. We are afraid to care too much, for fear that the other person does not care at all. It takes courage to love, but pain through love is the purifying fire. Justice cannot be for one side alone, but must be for both. I have spent many years of my life in opposition, and I rather like the role. The battle for the individual rights of women is one of long standing, and none of us should countenance anything which undermines it. Anyone who thinks must think of the next war as they would of suicide. I think that somehow, we learn who we really are and then live with that decision. Never mistake knowledge for wisdom. One helps you make a living, the other helps you make a life. Courage is exhilarating. You can never really live anyone else's life, not even your child's. If life were predictable, it would cease to be life, and be without flavor. Don't call a woman unless she has done something extraordinary. In all our contacts, it is probably the sense of being really needed and wanted which gives us the greatest satisfaction and creates the most lasting bond. Strength that goes wrong is even more dangerous than weakness that goes wrong. The mind must be trained rather than the memory. Every time you meet a situation, though you may think at the time it is an impossibility, you will later see that it was not only experience needed to be gained. Will people ever be wise enough to refuse to follow bad leaders or to take away the freedom of other people? Never be bored, and you will never be boring. Remember always that you not only have the right to be an individual, you have an obligation to be one. Perhaps nature is our best assurance of immortality. We all create the person we become by our choices as we go through life. It is curious how often you humans manage to obtain that which you do not want. Character building begins in our infancy and continues until death. When you know to the fullest what you can do, and do it, you are the happiest. You cannot hang out with negative people and expect to live a positive life. It is not more vacation we need, it is more vocation. The reason that fiction is more interesting than any other form of literature is that it has some semblance of truth. Never let anyone define who you are or who you can become. If you lose money, you lose much. If you lose friends, you lose more. If you lose faith, you lose all. Success must include two things: the development of an individual to his utmost potential and a contribution of some kind to one's world. Do the things that interest you and do them with all your heart. No writing has any real value which is not the expression of genuine thought and feeling. Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself. The only thing we learn from history is that we learn nothing from history. True patriotism springs from a belief in the dignity of the individual, freedom and equality not just for some, but for all.